Hi, this is Sarah from Card Crazy Cook. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this card today for you using the Memorybox 2021 spring release. So first we're going to select our paper. I decided to use the darkest purple from the Ocean Blue paper pad. There's 9 paper pads released for spring. They have 12 shades in each pack, going from a dark, medium to light color. They're 110 pound stock, and the spectrum goes from the rainbow from a warm to cool colors. So I took the, like I said, the darkest of the cool bluish purple colors. We're also going to use the 3D embossing folder, and to be able to emboss on a 110 pound cardstock in a 3D folder, you're going to have to mist your paper first with some water to make it more pliable. And you're going to stick that in your embossing folder and run it through your embossing machine. Now that you've run that through, we'll take it out of the embossing folder. Looks like maybe I didn't get enough water on my cardstock, as it kind of cracked a little bit, but that's fine because we're actually going to use a white ink to go on top. I've picked out Picket Fence. We're going to add 2 coats. The first coat, we're just going to go across, swiping it up and down, adding some ink. Then you're going to take your finger or a small sponge dauber, and you're going to blend that ink around the flowers. This is muting the ink out a little bit so you can see the purple paper underneath the ink. So you kind of have 2 colors that you see now. You have the dark periwinkle purple, and then you have this muted out white that's showing the cardstock through. And then we're going to do another swipe on top, and this time we just want to catch the highlights of those flowers. There you go. Now you have a 3-tone flower background in less than 5 minutes. I'm going to set this off to dry before we trim that off, and we're going to work on the butterfly. This is the Glade Butterfly, and it has the base and then an outline die cut. I chose the matching dark cardstock, and because of the white, it kind of muted it even more, so I went with a shade a little more to the blue. This is one reason why these paper packs are so good. Like I said, there's 9 paper stacks in different colors across the spectrum, so huge amount of possibilities with these paper packs. Then we're going to add some glitter. I'm using the Memorybox Fairy Sugar Berry Mist. It's going to add some to the base of the cardstock where I think you're going to see through the cutouts on the top layer. Set that off to dry. I already have one dried. We're going to take the top layer with the die cut and just kind of bend the wings up a little bit. Add a touch of glue to the back side. And then attach in the center. And yep, that was too much glue, but luckily it's dries clear, so you won't be able to see that. Just kind of want to be able to see the motion of the wings flapping. Let's get this pointed down the right direction. Set that off to dry. Next, you can work, just quickly make your A2 card base while you're waiting. I've pre-made that ahead of time. Your ink's still a little too wet. Add some white back on there since I touched that. Set it back aside. And we'll work on the sentiment while that dries a little bit. And then if it doesn't, we'll put the heat gun to it to set it. I'm going to be using the Open Studio Joyful Moment Sentiment and Missing Your Smile. And VersaFine Clair Fantasia as my ink. Stamp that up. This is just white cardstock, 110 pound. Go. That's stamped up good. Clean off my stamp and put it back in my pack there. Next, we're going to try to fussy cut this out. My first attempt was beautiful. We'll see how this one turns out. It's more difficult to fussy cut on a thicker cardstock because it's not as pliable as a thinner cardstock, but I was able to do that last time without any issues. This time, not so much. Try to clean that up a little bit. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and trim this down. I have a border around my around the background paper, so I need to trim it to 4 by 5 1/4. Probably should have done this before because the ink isn't quite dry, but it still looks good. Add your adhesive to the back. I like using tape runner. This is my favorite because the little dots make it easy to remove your card base when you stick it on and it's not quite right, and you can easily peel it up and reposition it and it sticks down pretty good. Okay, this one went down pretty easy. Our glue did not set up yet on our butterfly, so it means I just had way too much. I'll figure just take it apart and clean off some of the glue. Press it together real quick. I also like using tape runner on my sentiments. I will reposition them constantly. I'll post it to Instagram and say, that is not very good where I placed that, and then re-change up my sentiment later. This one we're going to have to add some glue. I'm going to reach for a different glue. It's a little more fine tip, but I'm almost out of it, so I'm going to have to shake it out. Shake it